for me, letting people feel comfortable at an early age that it's okay to have character, to follow what you know is right, that you don't have to worry about what other people think or the fear of missing out. You can have a joy in other people's opinion and still be the one with character and say, I'm not going to take a shortcut. I'm not going to cheat, lie, oversell, manipulate, or do these other things. I'm going to, when nobody's looking, do the right thing. There's not many, there's not much content out there for kids about character anymore.
Right. Yes. Yes. And for me, as a child, uh, the picture books were my picture books as a child were very important to me. So as I grew, I have a love of art. And as a young adult, I started karate along with my husband, traditional Okinawan karate, which really uplifts the five Dojo Kun, which, they are revealers of character, like you said. So eventually, throughout the years, I put that all together, my passion for art and creating things, sharing with people, mentoring children, and the traditional values of karate. So I now have my five picture books you can see behind me that I wrote and illustrated. So it is my way of kind of reaching back and reaching out to younger generations to, help them to recognize honesty and dishonesty, recognize laziness and procrastination, or being a can-do person who, takes initiative to have their own power in their own lives.
And your storytelling capability beyond the artwork is incredible because people learn from stories. And the better we are at telling stories, the better people will learn the lessons that are contained in those stories. And one of the things that you experienced at a young age is probably the biggest challenge for young people today, which is isolation. Whether it be from COVID or previous to COVID, just the idea of the virtuality of interaction today and the real connections that are occurring are more interfered with and more limited than they've ever been. Isolation is a huge challenge that our children face, and they feel alone. And we have learned that we are social beings, and whether it be the blue zones or other case studies that have been done, people who are social that create a community are happier, healthier, and live longer. Um, in your storytelling, what are some of the lessons that you teach that you personally experienced feeling isolated?
Um, well, it's more like the inspiration and the impetus and the seed that was planted in me for that. So
Mhm.
as a child, I brought some little visual aids. That was me back about,
So
uh,
cute.
I hate to say how long ago, but yeah, so that was me before my parents got a divorce. Then after they got a divorce when I was 5, that was when my world fell apart. I ended up going to 2 different schools for kindergarten, and then one of those again for first grade, and a whole new one for the second half of first grade. Ditto on second grade, 2 different schools. So I had a really hard struggle being uprooted and then juggled back and forth between schools. 2 weeks living with my mom, 2 weeks living with my dad. So I just like had no stable home, and I had a hard time at school, finding friends, and then I would find a friend and then they would move away. So um, so I just struggled, just constantly with that. So again, the picture books were my one stable thing. I would read, my picture books at the evening or look at the pictures, and they were funny and they were fun, um, and so I felt a connection there. Like it was actually a human connection through a book, interestingly. Um, and that's why, as an adult, it just became more and more important to me to be able to use that medium to speak to the children of today. So yeah, so the books really aren't so much so far about isolation, because in the first one, Makoto's the main character and he already has a karate friend. Um, so in the second book, they both star in it. So that one talks about friendship and how dishonesty can tear apart a friendship. And the story, like all of my stories do come from they have elements of true stories that either I've experienced or people have told me that they've experienced or I've witnessed through karate. Other colleagues from the martial arts have said, like Makoto, the main idea in the first story, Makoto was late for his karate belt test, so he wasn't allowed to join. So that was based on a true kid. That's really what happened to a real karate kid that I heard about. In this one, my dad's cousin was telling us about how she always wanted a pony, and her friend ended up getting a pony, and her friend was mean to the pony, and so she was no longer friends with that. It really caused a rift in their friendship with that young lady. So in this story, I was like, hey, that could be how dishonesty. I knew I was going to write a book about dishonesty before I heard this story, and I was like, that could be, a great illustration for all of us. So in this story, both of the kids want a dog. The girl, Michi, ends up being able to adopt a dog, but Makoto cannot because his dad is very allergic. So she gets the dog, and then she notices Makoto's like kind of frowny about it. So then she starts lying to him and saying, oh, it's not so fun to have a dog. And it escalates to where she's actually mean to the dog when he's there. And he's like, I just don't want to be friends with this girl anymore. But they were lucky enough to have a chance to have it pointed out to them. You need to talk things out. And they, discover that, yes, telling the truth is the best thing for our friendship. Even if what I'm saying at the end, even if what she's saying to her friend is something that he frowns about or might not be happy about, she points it out to him, and they're closer friends because of it.
Yeah, nobody likes feedback in the present. What an extraordinary illustration in authorship. Our owner and operator at East Value Martial Arts, Jenifer Tull-Gauger, giving and revealing character at our future generation. Our bench is deep, but it takes great coaches, mentors, and teachers like Jenifer to make sure that we're developing that great talent of our bench, and it is deep for our future. No fear here with people like Jenifer helping all of us. JeniferTull-Gauger.com. You can find these books everywhere. Dojo Kun Character Books. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, David. It's good to see you. Take care.
Great job. Thanks.